What's up, peeps? Nick Battle, aka Ninos Corner, man. First off, if you like this content that is coming your way, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell, get all my notifications here for this channel. And if you're listening to this, folks, on the podcast platform, or just Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher Breaker, like, comment, subscribe, share, 5-star comment, 5-star reviews mean a lot. Helps me grow the channel, just a lot, folks. But on that note, folks, we're going to talk today about the Horns Corner portion of the Ninos Corner podcast. We're going to do a Horns Corner recap of what has transpired so far through the transfer portal for Texas. As we see now, folks, Texas has 7 guys who are going to enter the transfer portal here on Monday. That is wide receiver Troy O'Meary. That is the offensive lineman Carrick. We got 2 edges in Prince Dorba and also DJ Harris. We got a safety in JD Coffee, a cornerback in Jameer Johnson, and the biggest one of all is the backup quarterback Hudson Card. But folks, prior to us getting into that, let's just give a shout out to our sponsors. First sponsor, folks, is going to be by betus.com. Folks, go to betus.com, type in the promo code NinosCorner, get you 125% sign-up bonus, folks. That's free money. Use that bet, do what you got to do, have some fun, and get some free money, folks. 125% sign-up bonus. Second sponsor, folks, is going to be by Manscaped. So go to manscaped.com, type in the promo code NinosCorner, get yourself 20% off and free worldwide shipping. Again, using the promo code NinosCorner at manscaped.com. But folks, we're going to kind of deep dive just here for a quick couple seconds here about the transfer portal and what the loss of these folks means. First, let's start off with wide receiver Troy O'Meary. I think we all understand Troy O'Meary was one of those guys that we saw, was it 3 summers ago during his freshman campaign. He was lighting up the spring camp, with the Tom Herman team. And then he actually tore his knee. And then I think he had a setback again last year with the knee. He came on just a little bit, and he came on and played some this year as well. But Troy O'Meary is not a Steve Sarkisian recruit. A good player. If he was healthy, you can definitely see him getting some run here and actually getting some PT. But he just hasn't had that opportunity to, just to show his skill just due to his injury. We all understand that Steve Sarkisian has Xavier Worthy here, has a Ryan Niblett coming in, has a Brennan Thompson, has a Jonte Cook coming in as well, has a Savion Red already here. You're seeing the kind of mold of the wide receivers that he wants. He wants a lot of speed on the field at all times. Not saying that Troy doesn't have the speed, but he is a bigger bodied wide receiver. He's a wide receiver that I think somebody like, Ajay Hall could basically take that spot. So it's kind of good for both sides here. Sark already has his guys. And it's good that Troy gets opportunity to go prove himself. And I'm excited to see him go and prove himself. So I'm going to be looking forward to that one and just seeing exactly where he goes. So it's going to be very interesting to see who picks him up and what he does at the next stop. Next person, folks, is going to be Andre Carrick. Andre Carrick is like he's the swing offensive lineman that can play guard, he can play tackle. But again, folks, this is not a huge loss for Texas either. Texas took in 7 offensive linemen last year for the 2022 cycle. And Andre Carrick was fighting for a position. So this time last year, prior to the season starting, Andre Carrick was one of those guys that we figured we needed. He needed to step up. We needed him in this roster. We absolutely needed him because we didn't know whether or not we had anybody that could start at guard or tackle that was young. We knew that a Kelvin Banks Jr. could come in and probably play right away, but these were unknowns. We knew that a Campbell could possibly step up and play, and he hasn't played much this year. We were surprised by seeing a guy like Cole Hudson come in and play immediately because he did have those reps in the spring. But seeing a guy like Andre Carrick get jumped by 2 true freshmen kind of tells you exactly where he stands in the pecking order. Now, one thing I will say about Andre Carrick is that they did use him a lot in the jumbo package this year. And he was in, like the 12 personnel jumbo package, meaning 1 running back, 2 tight ends. And he was the second tight end that actually came in on, they actually came in on those plays and blocked very well. Texas was very successful in the running game, per the jumbo package. I think they had a successful play rate of 51 or 52% in that jumbo package, and that was all due to having an extra offensive lineman in the field in Andre Carrick to help out a true freshman in Kelvin Banks, to help chip blocks for Christian Jones as well at the right tackle position. He didn't play much this year, folks, when it comes to being a starting offensive lineman here for Texas. And I don't think that that's going to be a huge loss for Texas either. Texas does have a lot of bodies at that position. They're bringing in a bunch of bodies here in the 2023 cycle. So Steve Sarkisian is definitely churning out the bottom of that roster. I'm not saying that these guys are the bottom of the roster, but when it comes to those actual positions, he has younger talent that he feels can do, if not as well, has the potential to do as well within the next year or two. Next person, guys, is going to be Prince Dorber. So Prince Dorber is one of those guys that if you listen to my podcast, he's one of those guys I've been screaming his praises for the longest since he came out of high school. I thought in his year group, he was probably the best pass rusher in the state of Texas in high school coming out. And he just, for whatever reason, just didn't see the field here at Texas. A really good pass rusher. I just don't think he held up and was strong enough to hold up to the run. But if you look at Prince Dorber and just the guys who have jumped him on this roster, you're looking at a guy like Ovi Agofu, who actually came in. Well, no, Prince, not Ovi. Baron Sorrell, Justice Finkley. Those guys have jumped Prince Dorber in the pecking order to get some of those edge, snaps. And so once you have a guy who's a true freshman like Justice Finkley, once you have a guy who's a sophomore like Baron Sorrell, and Prince Dorber's been here for 3 years now, folks. Once you have a guy who has been here for 3 years and has already been recruited over, the writing's on the wall. So losing a guy like Prince Dorber, yes. Does it sting? Does it hurt for depth purposes? Yes, but Texas has guys like a Jamon Tapp, who was in here, in this class. Ethan Burke, Colton Vasic's coming in as well, Darian Gillette. So Texas feels like the guys that are coming in this 22, class that are already here on campus, and the guys that are coming in for that 23, cycle, they feel like they have the guys that are in place that fit PK's defense a lot better than what Prince Dorber is, and that those guys have the potential to have a higher floor and a higher ceiling than what Prince Dorber has. Next guy on the list, folks, is going to be DJ Harris. Kind of the same thing that I'm saying about Prince Dorber, even though I think DJ Harris is going to be a guy who's going to be a good player for somebody. I'm excited to see where he's going to go. But just the same comments when it comes to Prince Dorber. Guys that come in from that 2022 cycle and have kind of passed him. So he got actually recruited over. And once you get that, once that happens to you, it's time for you to start looking for another spot. Another guy on the list, folks, is JD Coffey. So JD Coffey, or Kofi, defensive back, played safety. If not mistaken, he was backing up Thompson, but Taft has come in, who's a walk-on, a redshirt freshman walk-on, and is taking those second team snaps. So JD is behind Taft. So being behind Taft means you're not getting any playing time. Once Anthony Cook got hurt, Taft was the guy who actually came in and played. It was Taft and Crawford. So I think Crawford played. Once we had some problems there with the nickel, we saw Taft kind of bump down also to play nickel as well. And so you're seeing that even when players go down, there are 2 or 3 more players that have stepped in and have played over Kofi, right? And so you're looking at JD Kofi, having guys like Crawford come in and play, having guys like Taft come in and play. And then seeing guys behind him, like a BJ Allen, who I think is going to be a really good player here at Texas. You're seeing that you already see what's going to happen and seeing the kind of guys that this staff has, and seeing the guy, come in for this new class, the kid from the Baton Rouge area. Seeing those guys come in, you understand exactly what your pecking order is, and you understand that if you want to get some playing time, it's probably time to go somewhere else. And then the next person, folks, Jameer Johnson, who actually played some this year. But as the season progressed, we saw him get leapfrogged by true freshman Terrence Brooks. And so, Terrence Brooks got a lot of snaps in these last 2 or 3 games. Seeing Jameson go out and seeing Terrence Brooks come in and not Johnson come in kind of lets Johnson know exactly where he stands. Terrence Brooks is the guy with the higher upside. That's who the staff's probably going to run with. You also got a guy like Malik Muhammad coming in here, as well. So seeing that happen as well, he understands exactly the pecking order of where he stands. Terrence Brooks, Ryan Watts is going to be here next year, as well. Having a guy like Malik Muhammad, Barron is here. Look, I'm not saying that they're stacked at cornerback, but they got enough bodies at cornerback to where he understands that a lot of stuff has to happen for him for him to play. Austin Jordan even got some playing time this year. So when it comes to the cornerback position, I like Jameer Johnson, but he just made a couple mistakes here this year. Wishing the best. Probably see him going back to the West Coast. He is a West Coast kid. So, who knows? Is it USC? Is it UCLA? Who knows where he's going to go? But I think he saw the writing on the wall too as well. At the end of the season, when things got tough, Texas trusted that true freshman Terrence Brooks to come in, and Terrence Brooks balled out when he had the opportunity. Last person on the list, folks, going to be Hudson Card. Everybody understands Hudson Card is probably going to be one of the most sought after, QBs here in the transfer portal. I think it's going to be able to go to a lot of places. I don't think there's going to be a place. I don't think he's going to have any problems finding out where he wants to go. There's a lot of teams that were a quarterback away. Having this conversation last year, folks, we would have been like, where's Hudson Card going to go? I mean, he didn't play too well last year, yada, yada. I'm not saying he didn't play too well last year. I still think we have the same record or better if Steve Sarkisian would have kept Hudson Card in the game and not played Casey Thompson. It's just my opinion. However, Steve Sarkisian has, a Quinn Ewers in. He has a Murphy here as well. And he also has Manning coming in as well for next year. So he has that room. And Charles Wright. Put some respect on Charles Wright's name. But yeah, he has that room in place to where those are guys that he knows and he understands what he wants out of a quarterback. And Hudson can fit that role as well. But Hudson understands that he is not going to leapfrog Quinn Ewers. That's a guy that Steve Sarkisian personally got out there from the portal last year because he wanted to upgrade the actual quarterback position. And also having a guy like Malik Murphy there as well, who he recruited as well, and having Arch Manning coming in as well for the next year. Hudson understands this is a business. Hudson, I think he got his business degree in 2.5 or 3 years here at Texas. So a very smart kid. He's probably going to go as a grad transfer somewhere, and wherever he goes, he's going to be successful. Not just as a football player, but just as a person in life. But I can't wait to see where he's going to go. I'm going to root for him pretty hard. This is exactly like I did when Shane Buechele left and went to SMU. Rooted for him very hard as well. But I got a good feeling that Hudson's going to land at a good Division I college, Power 5, and do great things. He has all the talent in the world and all of the arm talent to make pretty much all the throws as well. Not as strong of an arm as Quinn, but Hudson's a very smart guy who can use his legs as well, which is going to be key to his next stop wherever he goes. But folks, that is the update on the Texas transfer portal. One thing that I do want to say and do want to note about the transfer portal, folks, I'm not too worried about the players that we lost. And that's because you can see this roster is churning over. And you can see that Sark is definitely upgrading the bottom of that roster like you do in the NFL. And you're seeing some of those NFL teachings that him and, Kyle Flood have when they were actually with the Falcons, turning over the bottom of the roster. You're as good as your weakest link. And I'm not saying that these guys that are in the portal are weak. I'm not saying that. These are highly recruited guys. But Sark wants to turn over that roster to understand and know that he has his guys in. And he wants to make sure that those third string guys, those second, third, and fourth string guys are going to be just as competitive as those first and second string guys as well. So losing guys, yes, I hate to lose these guys. This time last year, losing Carrick would have been horrible because he did have playing time and he played physical and he played nasty when he played. But seeing the turnover for the offensive line, getting those 7 recruits last year, especially highlighted by the Kelvin Banks Jr., Cole Hudsons, and the DJ Campbells who played a lot. And now you're having these other guys, these other four offensive linemen who have had a year to mature into the Texas, program and Cal Flood's program. Seeing those guys having the whole maturation process happen in front of us, you're going to see that those guys are going to take another step because honestly, they're probably just more naturally talented and gifted than a guy like Andre Carrick. So you're going to see that those guys are going to have the opportunity to play a lot more than what Andre Carrick would have played. And the one thing that stumps me about the Carrick one, though, is man, he's going to be severely missed during the bowl game because we do use the jumbo package a lot. But with the new rule, or not new rule, but with the rule now of having a guy be able to play 4 games or less and still be able to redshirt, maybe this is an opportunity for one of those freshmen to come in and play that jumbo tight end role. So yeah, we got options. I think Texas is going to hit the transfer portal as well here. Hey, the transfer portal took 7 of our guys and maybe more, but I think the transfer portal is going to be very fruitful to Texas as well. So Sark's looking for his guys, his team. We're seeing a 3-win improvement from last year, going 5-7 now to 8-4. And I think that's going to be very attractive for some folks that are hitting the transfer portal in positions of need that Texas is going to want. I think we're going to want some positions of need to get some some more experienced players at the wide receiver position. Also to probably get some more defensive backs as well to also complement what we're bringing here in the 2023 class and what we've already brought in from the 2022 class. But folks, on that note, man, just a quick, brief synopsis over the transfer portal. Just the guys who are expected to enter the portal on Monday. But folks, on that note, I'm going to end this podcast like I end all of them. Do you folks? Don't be afraid to fail. Outgrow your environment, understand your brilliance. Ninos Corner. I'm out. Hook 'em.